Hey guys, it's Kaylee. Welcome back to Gluten-Free Runner. I'm super excited about this video. Today I made a gluten-free version of the classic Little Debbie's Christmas tree cakes. I still wanted to enjoy this classic Christmas treat, so I made some gluten-free. Here are the ingredients that I'll be using today. This is just my gluten-free cupcake recipe. I'll link it in the corner and in the description below. So here are the ingredients. Take a screenshot so you can follow along too. Now I'm going to start making my gluten-free vanilla cake recipe. I will again link the whole video up in the corner and in the description below so you can go watch it if you want a more thorough understanding of how to make the gluten-free vanilla cake. Now, I will be using Bob's Red Mill gluten-free 1-to-1 baking flour. I love this flour. If you don't have gluten-free 1-to-1 baking flour, just make sure that you add the proper amount of xanthan gum for your respective flour so that it's not too chewy and not too crumbly. You should be able to Google and find out proper amounts of xanthan gum for your respective flour. Now I got a cookie sheet and I sprayed it with some Pam, and then I'm going to put some parchment paper on it. This is to ensure that the cake comes out smoothly and doesn't get stuck to the pan. This is very important. Now I just pour my cake batter onto the parchment paper and smooth it out evenly, as you see me doing here. This cake smells so good, and it's gluten-free. The best part is you never even will be able to tell that it's gluten-free because it tastes that good, you guys. Once it's all smoothed out properly, you're going to put it in the oven at 350 for about 15 minutes. Don't let it burn. Make sure you keep an eye on it so that it doesn't burn because you want the cake to be perfectly moist and not too crumbly. Now here it is after about 12 to 15 minutes. It's just slightly gold. That's where you want to get it out. You're going to let it cool in the pan for 5 minutes and then take it out of the pan to cool all the way. Once it's fully cooled, cut it in half because we're going to add a layer of frosting in between, just like the real Christmas tree cakes. I'm just using this store-bought vanilla frosting. Make sure it's gluten-free. If you want, you can make your own. I'm using an offset spatula to add a thin layer, not too thick, of the frosting. And then I'm just going to take one half of the cake and stack it on top of the other half. Don't worry, it doesn't have to line up perfectly because we're just going to cut it away anyway to make the Christmas tree shapes. Now I wrap it up in the parchment paper and let it sit in the freezer for about an hour to make sure it holds its shape. While it's freezing, I'm going to go on a run. See you guys when it's done. Alright, now that it's been in about an hour, I got my cake out of the freezer, and I'm going to use this Christmas tree cookie cutter to make sort of an indent where I want my shape to go. And then I just used a butter knife to cut out the shape of the Christmas tree, I guess. And once it's done, it is a little crumbly because it's gluten-free, so just keep that in mind. But carefully go along, cut out your Christmas tree shapes, and enjoy yourself. Once those are all cut out, you're going to put them in the freezer for about 2 to 3 hours. While those are freezing, I'm going to take my white chocolate melting wafers and melt them in increments of 30 seconds, stirring in between, until it comes to a consistency like this. Now that my cakes have been frozen for a little over 2 hours, they should hold together well. Again, keep in mind that these are gluten-free, and gluten-free flour doesn't stick together very well, so it will be a little crumbly and a little messy, and that's okay. Embrace it, guys. I started by dipping my Christmas tree cake into the melting wafers, the melted white chocolate, and I used my spatula to kind of coat it and get it into all the grooves. Don't worry if it's not perfect, it's okay. Then I just put it on a little cookie cooling rack to make sure all the white chocolate dripped off properly. There we have it. I cleaned it up a little bit with my spatula, and then before the melting wafers dried fully, I sprinkled some green sanding sugar on top and did a little drizzle of red cookie icing to get that classic Christmas tree cake look. Now again, don't worry if it's not perfect because look, they look great. At the end of the day, it really just matters that we gluten-free people get the same treats that the non-gluten-free people get. And these Christmas tree cakes look and taste so good. They're almost just like the Little Debbie's ones, which is amazing. I'm so happy with how these turned out. I hope you guys enjoy making it. Like and subscribe for more gluten-free goodness.